My name is Namjoon, also known as RM, the leader of the group BTS's. What if the words you are about to hear are exactly what you have been needing, but never allowed yourself to believe? If you have been doubting yourself, waiting to be chosen, or wondering whether you are enough, then do not skip this moment. Today, imagine this is not just another motivational video. Imagine it is a message meant for you. Listen carefully, because these 5 lessons might change the way you see yourself forever. Let's begin. 1. Stop waiting for someone else to choose you. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that their life will finally begin when someone else notices their value. They wait for approval, recognition, acceptance, or love before giving themselves permission to grow. But if you keep placing your future in someone else's hands, you also give them control over your confidence and happiness. The truth is, no one can decide your worth except you. The moment you stop waiting to be chosen is the moment you begin choosing yourself. There will always be people who overlook your efforts, misunderstand your intentions, or fail to recognize what you have to offer. That does not mean you are not enough. It simply means they cannot see what you carry inside. Never let another person's opinion become the measure of your potential. The strongest people are not those who receive constant praise. They are the ones who continue moving forward even when no one is watching. Instead of asking, "Why doesn't anyone believe in me?" ask yourself, "Do I believe in myself enough to keep going?" That single question can change the direction of your life. Every skill you build, every challenge you overcome, and every step you take toward becoming a better version of yourself is proof that your future does not depend on someone else's approval. It depends on your willingness to keep growing. Remember, the people who eventually admire your success are often the same people who never notice your quiet struggles. So don't wait for the world to choose you. Make the decision today to choose yourself, trust your journey, and keep moving forward with confidence. Your life begins the moment you stop waiting for permission and start believing that you are already worthy of the future you dream about. 2. Protect your mind from what is breaking you. Your mind is one of the most valuable things you will ever have, yet it is also one of the easiest things to neglect. Every single day, you are surrounded by opinions, expectations, comparisons, and endless voices telling you who you should become. If you are not careful, those voices slowly become your own, and before you realize it, you begin doubting yourself, questioning your abilities, and forgetting the person you were meant to be. That is why protecting your mind is not a luxury, it is a responsibility. The quality of your thoughts will always influence the quality of your life. Think about the people, content, and conversations you allow into your daily routine. Do they encourage you to grow, or do they constantly make you feel like you are falling behind? Some environments quietly drain your confidence without you even noticing. Constant comparison, endless negativity, and unrealistic expectations can slowly convince you that you are never enough. But the truth is, your journey was never meant to look like someone else's. The moment you stop measuring your life against other people is the moment you create space to discover your own potential. Protecting your mind also means being careful with the words you repeat to yourself. Many people speak to themselves with more criticism than they would ever use towards someone they love. Every time you tell yourself that you are not smart enough, not talented enough, or not capable enough, you build invisible walls around your future. Those thoughts do not describe reality, they only describe fear. Instead of feeding your mind with self-doubt, choose thoughts that push you toward growth. Remind yourself that every expert was once a beginner, every confident person once struggled with insecurity, and every successful journey began with someone who simply refused to give up. There will always be moments when life becomes overwhelming, but you do not have to let difficult moments become permanent beliefs about yourself. Rest when you need to, learn from your mistakes, and continue moving forward without carrying unnecessary negativity. Fill your mind with wisdom, meaningful experiences, and people who inspire you to become better. The person you become tomorrow depends greatly on what you allow your mind to absorb today. Protect your peace, protect your focus, And most importantly, protect the belief that you are capable of becoming far more than your fears have ever allowed you to imagine. 3. Become the person your future needs. Have you ever imagined the person you want to become 5 or 10 years from now? Most people dream about a better future, but very few stop to ask an important question. Am I becoming the person who is capable of living that future? We often hope that life will suddenly change, that one opportunity will appear, or that everything will somehow fall into place. But the future is not created by hope alone. It is created by the person you choose to become every single day. Your future is quietly watching the decisions you make today, because the life you dream about can only be built by the habits you practice now. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment to begin. They tell themselves they will start learning when they have more time. They will become healthier when life becomes less busy, or they will finally chase their dreams when they feel more confident. But confidence is not something that appears before action. It grows because of action. Every small decision you make today becomes a brick that builds tomorrow. The books you read, the skills you develop, the discipline you practice, and the way you respond to challenges are shaping a version of yourself that you have not met yet. Imagine meeting your future self today. Would that person thank you for the choices you are making right now? Would they be proud of how you spend your time, how you protect your peace, and how seriously you take your personal growth? Or would they wish you had stopped procrastinating and started believing in yourself much sooner? These are not questions meant to make you feel guilty. They are reminders that every ordinary day carries extraordinary power. Your future is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built through hundreds of small choices that seem insignificant until they completely change your life. Growth is not always exciting. Some days it looks like waking up early when you would rather stay in bed. Some days it means studying when no one is watching, practicing when no one is applauding, or saying no to distractions that steal your focus. Those quiet moments often feel invisible, but they are creating the strongest version of you. The world usually celebrates success after it becomes visible, but it rarely sees the months and years of patience, discipline, and silent effort that made it possible. Never underestimate the value of showing up for yourself, even when the results are not immediate. Another important part of becoming the person your future needs is letting go of the version of yourself that is holding you back. Sometimes your biggest obstacle is not another person or a difficult situation. It is the belief that you are not capable of more. It is the habit of doubting yourself before you even try. It is the fear of making mistakes or the constant need to be perfect before taking action. But growth has never required perfection. It only requires the courage to continue learning. Every mistake teaches you something valuable if you are willing to learn instead of quit. Do not compare your progress with someone else's journey. Everyone begins from a different place, faces different challenges, and moves at a different pace. The only comparison that truly matters is between the person you were yesterday and the person you are becoming today. If you are learning more, thinking more wisely, becoming kinder, stronger, and more disciplined, then you are already moving in the right direction. Real success is not about reaching the finish line before everyone else. It is about refusing to stop growing. Remember that the future you dream about is also waiting for you to become ready for it. Bigger opportunities require greater wisdom. Stronger relationships require greater emotional maturity. Greater success requires greater discipline. Instead of asking life to give you more, spend your energy becoming someone who can responsibly carry more. When your character grows, your opportunities often grow with it. One day people will look at your confidence, your achievements, and the peace you carry within yourself. And they may think it happened overnight, but you will know the truth. It was built through countless ordinary days when you chose growth over comfort, discipline over excuses, and hope over fear. So begin today. Become the person your future needs, because the life you are dreaming of is already being shaped by the choices you make right now. 4, turn every failure into your strength. Failure has a way of making you question everything. It can make you doubt your ability, your decisions, and even the dream you once believed in so deeply. When something does not work out, it is easy to look at yourself and think, maybe I am not good enough. But failure is not proof that you are incapable. It is proof that you were brave enough to try. The people who never fail are usually the ones who never take meaningful risks, never step beyond what feels safe, and never give themselves the chance to discover what they are truly capable of becoming. The real danger is not failure itself. The real danger is allowing one disappointing moment to become your identity. You may have failed at something, but that does not make you a failure. An event is not a definition. A setback is not a final judgment on your future. It is simply one chapter in a much larger story. When you separate who you are from what happened to you, failure loses much of its power. You begin to see that the experience may have hurt you, but it does not have to control you. Every failure carries information. It shows you what was missing, where you were unprepared, what you misunderstood, and what needs to change. Sometimes failure exposes a weakness you were avoiding. Sometimes it reveals that your strategy was wrong, not your dream. Sometimes it teaches you patience, discipline, humility, or resilience in a way success never could. If you only focus on the pain, you will miss the lesson. But when you ask, what is this trying to teach me? The experience begins to transform. Think about how strength is built. It is not created by living a life without difficulty. It is created by facing difficulty and continuing anyway. Confidence is not the belief that everything will always go perfectly. Real confidence is knowing that even when things go wrong, you will find a way to recover, learn, and begin again. That kind of confidence cannot be given to you by praise. It is earned through experience. There may be moments when you work hard and still do not get the result you wanted. You may prepare carefully and still be rejected. You may trust someone and still be disappointed. You may invest time into a dream that appears to lead nowhere. These moments can feel unfair, especially when you know how much effort you gave. But effort is never completely wasted when it changes you. Even when the outcome is not what you expected, the discipline you developed, the knowledge you gained, and the courage you discovered remain with you. Sometimes failure is also protection. A closed door can save you from entering a place that was never right for you. A rejection can force you to build something better. A painful ending can reveal truths you were too emotionally attached to see. You may not understand the purpose of a setback while you are inside it, but time often shows you what the pain was trying to remove, redirect, or teach. Not every loss is punishment. Some losses are preparation. You also have to stop being ashamed of starting again. There is no weakness in rebuilding your life with greater wisdom. Starting again does not mean you are back at the beginning, because this time you are beginning with experience. You know more now. You understand yourself more clearly. You recognize mistakes you could not see before. A second attempt made with wisdom is never the same as the first attempt made without it. Do not let embarrassment keep you trapped. People may judge your failure, but most of them are not carrying your dream, your responsibilities, or your future. Their opinions cannot build your life, so they should not be allowed to stop it. Many people criticize from the safety of never trying. Let them speak. Your task is not to appear perfect. Your task is to keep becoming stronger. When you fail, give yourself permission to feel disappointed. You do not have to pretend that pain does not hurt. Strength is not denying emotion. Strength is allowing yourself to feel it without allowing it to destroy your direction. Rest if you need to. Reflect honestly. Accept what happened. Then decide what your next step will be. Healing and action can exist together. The most successful people are not always the most naturally gifted. Often they are the ones who learn how to survive disappointment without losing belief in themselves. They turn rejection into discipline, criticism into self-awareness, and failure into strategy. They did not become powerful because life was easy for them. They became powerful because difficulty taught them how to keep moving. Ask yourself what failure has already taught you. Perhaps it taught you not to depend completely on other people. Perhaps it showed you the importance of preparation. Perhaps it made you more patient, more careful, or more emotionally mature. Perhaps it broke your pride and helped you become more humble. These lessons may not have arrived gently, but they can still become valuable. Your scars are evidence that you survived something you once thought might break you. Every time you rise after disappointment, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than one bad result. Over time, setbacks stop frightening you in the same way. You begin to trust your ability to recover. That trust becomes inner strength. Never waste your pain by refusing to learn from it. Use it. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it teach you what matters. Let it remove habits, beliefs, and relationships that keep you weak. Let it push you to prepare more deeply and act more wisely. Failure becomes dangerous only when it leaves you unchanged. One day you may look back at the moment you thought everything was falling apart and realize that it was actually rebuilding you. The rejection made you independent. The mistake made you wiser. The loss made you stronger. The delay made you patient. What once felt like the end became the beginning of a version of you that could not have existed without that experience. So when life knocks you down, do not ask only, why did this happen to me? Ask, what can I become because this happened? That question gives you back your power. You cannot always control what goes wrong, but you can control what you build from it. Failure does not have to be the place where your story ends. It can be the place where your character begins. Stand up with more wisdom, more courage, and more self-respect than you had before. Take the lesson, leave the shame, and keep moving forward. The experience that once made you feel weak can become the very reason you are impossible to break. 5. Never forget who you are and what you deserve. There will be moments in life when other people make you question your worth. Someone may fail to appreciate your effort, ignore your loyalty, misunderstand your heart, or treat your kindness as if it has no value. When this happens repeatedly, you may slowly begin to believe that perhaps you are asking for too much, expecting too much, or wanting something you do not deserve. But the truth is, your value does not decrease because someone failed to recognize it. A person's inability to see your worth does not mean your worth disappeared. It only means you were looking for confirmation in the wrong place. You must learn to remember who you are even when no one is reminding you. You cannot build your identity entirely on praise, attention, relationships, or success, because all of those things can change. People can leave, opportunities can disappear, applause can become silence. If your confidence depends on what comes from outside you, then every change will have the power to break you. Real strength begins when you know who you are without needing constant evidence from the world. You are not only the mistakes you have made, you are not the rejection you experienced, the relationship that ended, the opportunity you lost, or the season when you felt completely lost. Those moments may be part of your story, but they are not the whole story. You are also the person who survived them. You are the person who continued waking up, learning, healing, and trying again even when your heart was tired. Never allow one painful chapter to erase everything strong, beautiful, and courageous within you. Many people spend their lives accepting less because they are afraid of losing what little they have. They stay in places where they are not respected because they fear being alone. They keep proving themselves to people who have already decided not to understand them. They continue giving more and more, hoping that one day their effort will finally be returned. But love, friendship, and respect should not require you to abandon yourself. You should never have to become smaller, quieter, or less honest just to keep someone comfortable. Knowing what you deserve does not mean believing you are better than everyone else. It means understanding that you also deserve the patience, kindness, honesty, and effort you freely give to others. It means refusing to call inconsistency love. It means refusing to confuse attention with commitment or temporary affection with genuine care. It means recognizing that someone who truly values you will not repeatedly make you question whether you matter. There's a difference between being patient with someone and betraying yourself for them. Patience allows room for human mistakes, communication, and growth. Self-betrayal asks you to ignore patterns that continue hurting you. You may forgive someone, but forgiveness does not require you to keep giving them access to your peace. You may understand why someone behaves the way they do, but understanding is not the same as accepting mistreatment. Compassion for another person should never require cruelty toward yourself. Sometimes you know deep inside that a situation is not right for you, but you remain because you are attached to what it could become. You hold on to potential while ignoring reality. You imagine how beautiful the relationship, career, or friendship might be if everything changed. But your life cannot be built only on promises and possibilities. You have to pay attention to what is happening now. Are you respected now? Are you valued now? Are actions matching words now? Hope is important, but hope without honesty can keep you trapped for years. Never forget that choosing yourself may disappoint people who benefited when you did not have boundaries. The moment you stop saying yes to everything, some people may call you selfish. When you stop explaining yourself endlessly, they may say you have changed. When you walk away from what repeatedly hurts you, they may accuse you of giving up. But growth often looks like rejection to those who were comfortable with the old version of you. Do not confuse their discomfort with proof that you are doing something wrong. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to outgrow places, habits, and relationships that once felt right. You are allowed to want a different life. You are allowed to stop accepting things you once tolerated because you did not know better. Growth means your standards will change as your self-respect grows. What felt normal before may begin to feel unacceptable now, and that is not arrogance. That is awareness. Remember who you were before the world convinced you to doubt yourself. Think about the dreams you had before fear became louder than possibility. Think about the qualities that have always existed within you. Your compassion, curiosity, determination, creativity, honesty, and ability to care deeply. These things did not disappear just because life became difficult. They may have become hidden under disappointment, but they are still there. You do not need to become a completely different person. Sometimes healing means returning to the version of yourself that existed before you started believing you were not enough. Your worth is not measured by how useful you are to others. You are not here only to solve everyone's problems, carry everyone's emotions, or make yourself available whenever someone needs you. You are a human being, not an endless source of energy. You deserve rest without guilt, love without confusion, and support without having to earn it through exhaustion. The people who truly care about you will not only appreciate what you do for them, they will care about how you feel while doing it. Learn to pay attention to how you feel around people. Do you feel safe enough to be honest, or are you constantly afraid of saying the wrong thing? Do you feel accepted, or do you feel pressure to perform? Do you leave conversations feeling understood or emotionally drained? Your body often notices what your mind keeps trying to excuse. Peace is information. Anxiety is also information. Do not ignore what your emotions are trying to tell you. You deserve relationships where communication is not used as punishment. You deserve people who do not disappear whenever accountability is required. You deserve honesty, consistency, and mutual effort. You deserve to be around people who celebrate your growth instead of feeling threatened by it. Most importantly, you deserve a relationship with yourself that is strong enough to recognize when something is not love, even when you desperately want it to be. There may be times when choosing yourself feels lonely. Walking away can be painful even when you know it is necessary. You may miss people who are not good for you. You may question your decision on quiet nights. That does not mean the decision was wrong. Missing someone only means the connection mattered to you. It does not mean you have to return to the same pain. You can love someone and still accept that they do not belong in your future. Do not confuse loneliness with failure. Sometimes loneliness is the space between the life you have outgrown and the life you are preparing to enter. It may feel empty because the old noise is gone, but that silence gives you room to hear yourself again. Use that time to rebuild your identity, strengthen your standards, and become comfortable with your own company. The more peaceful you become alone, the less likely you are to accept chaos just to avoid loneliness. You also deserve your own forgiveness. Many people carry shame for choices they made when they were younger, afraid, lonely, or unaware. They continue punishing themselves even after they have changed. But you cannot build a healthy future while constantly attacking your past. Take responsibility, learn the lesson, make amends where possible, and then allow yourself to move forward. Growth should not become another reason to hate who you used to be. The old version of you was doing the best they could with the understanding they had. Speak to yourself with the same compassion you would offer someone you love. When you make a mistake, correct yourself without destroying yourself. When you fall behind, encourage yourself instead of calling yourself lazy or useless. When you feel insecure, remind yourself of how far you have already come. Your inner voice becomes the environment you live in every day. Make it a place where growth is possible. Never let social media become the mirror through which you measure your life. You will always find someone who appears more successful, more beautiful, more confident, or further ahead. But you are comparing your complete reality with a carefully selected moment from someone else's life. You do not see their fear, loneliness, sacrifice, or private struggles. Comparison will convince you that your progress is meaningless simply because it looks different. Your journey does not lose value because someone else is moving faster. Your pace is still a pace. A small step still moves you forward. Healing that takes years is still healing. A dream that begins later is still worthy of being pursued. You are not behind simply because your timeline does not match someone else's expectations. Some people discover their purpose early. Others spend years gathering lessons that later become the foundation of something meaningful. Stop treating your life like a race you are losing. What you deserve also includes the opportunity to pursue the life you truly want. Do not keep postponing your dreams because other people cannot understand them. Not everyone will see your vision before it becomes real. Some people can only believe in what already exists. If you wait for universal approval, you may spend your entire life standing still. Listen to wise advice, but do not allow fear disguised as concern to control your future. You deserve to explore what makes you feel alive. You deserve to learn new things, change direction, begin again, and create something meaningful. You deserve to take your own potential seriously. The dream inside you is not childish simply because it is difficult. Your future may require patience, discipline, and sacrifice, but difficulty is not a sign that you should stop. Sometimes it is a sign that what you are building matters. Do not wait until you feel completely confident. Confidence often arrives after you take action, not before. Choose yourself by showing up for your goals even when doubt is present. Choose yourself by keeping promises you make privately. Choose yourself by protecting time for what matters. Every time you act in alignment with your future, you teach yourself that your dreams are worthy of effort. Self-respect is built through small decisions. It is built when you stop chasing someone who keeps running away. It is built when you say no without writing a long apology. It is built when you leave a conversation that becomes disrespectful. It is built when you complete the task you promised yourself you would do. It is built when you rest because your body needs it, not only after you have reached exhaustion. The way you treat yourself teaches other people what access they can expect. When you repeatedly ignore your own boundaries, people learn that your limits are negotiable. When you accept apologies without changed behavior, they learn that words are enough. But when you respect your own time, energy, and values, the people around you understand that closeness to you requires care. This does not mean you need to become cold or defensive. You can remain kind without becoming easy to exploit. You can be understanding without ignoring reality. You can have a soft heart and still possess strong boundaries. In fact, boundaries protect your kindness from turning into resentment. They allow you to give from a place of choice rather than obligation. There will always be people who cannot meet you where you are. Do not hate them for it, but do not keep lowering yourself to make the connection work. Sometimes two people can care about each other and still be unable to create something healthy. Maturity means accepting this without forcing the relationship to become what it cannot be. Not every meaningful connection is meant to last forever. Never beg for basic respect. Never try to convince someone that your feelings matter. A healthy relationship may involve difficult conversations, but it should not require you to repeatedly prove that you are human. The right people may not always understand you perfectly, but they will care enough to listen, communicate, and make adjustments. Effort is one of the clearest forms of respect. You deserve peace, but peace does not mean a life without challenges. It means having enough self-trust to know that you will not abandon yourself when challenges arrive. It means believing that even if someone leaves, you will survive. Even if something fails, you will rebuild. Even if life changes suddenly, you will remain connected to your values. The strongest relationship you will ever build is the relationship you have with yourself. You are the person who will be present in every success, loss, beginning, and ending. Learn to become someone you can depend on. Keep your word to yourself. Listen when your heart says something is wrong. Celebrate your progress without waiting for applause. Comfort yourself during difficult seasons instead of turning against yourself. One day you will look back at the times you begged to be chosen and realize that you were always the person whose choice mattered most. You will see that every ending that returned you to yourself was not a complete loss. You will understand why certain doors had to close, why certain people could not continue with you, and why some plans had to fall apart. They were teaching you not to build your identity on anything temporary. Never forget who you are. You are someone who has survived days you once thought you could not handle. You have learned lessons you never asked for, carried pain quietly, and still found ways to care. You are still here, which means your story is still being written. Do not let people who only saw one chapter decide how the story should end. And never forget what you deserve. You deserve to be respected without demanding it repeatedly. You deserve love that feels safe, opportunities that allow you to grow, and a future that reflects your deepest values. You deserve to speak without shrinking, rest without guilt, and dream without needing permission. Most importantly, you deserve your own loyalty. The next time someone makes you question your worth, do not immediately ask what is wrong with you. Ask whether they have earned the power you are giving their opinion. The next time you feel tempted to accept less out of fear, remember how much of yourself you lost the last time you ignored your needs. The next time you feel behind, look at the strength it took to reach this point. Your life changes when you stop negotiating against yourself. It changes when you stop calling pain love, silence peace, and self-abandonment patience. It changes when you understand that choosing yourself is not one dramatic decision. It is a daily practice. Choose yourself when no one is applauding. Choose yourself when returning to the familiar would be easier. Choose yourself when your voice shakes. Choose yourself when the future is uncertain. Every time you do, you become more connected to the person you were always meant to be. This is the message you must carry with you. You do not need to become worthy. You already have worth. Your responsibility is to recognize it, protect it, and build a life that no longer requires you to forget it. The world may try to define you by your appearance, achievements, failures, relationships, or usefulness. But none of those things can hold the complete truth of who you are. You are still becoming. You are still learning. You are still allowed to begin again. Walk into your future with your head raised, not because you believe you are perfect, but because you finally understand that imperfection never made you undeserving. Let people meet the version of you who no longer begs, chases, or disappears to make others comfortable. Remember your heart. Remember your strength. Remember everything you survived. And when life becomes loud, return to this truth. You are worthy of love, respect, peace, growth, and a life that feels like your own. Never forget who you are, and never again accept anything that requires you to abandon that person. If there is one message I hope you carry with you after today, let it be this. Stop waiting for the world to tell you that you matter. Your worth was never meant to be decided by other people's opinions, their approval, or their ability to recognize your value. From this moment forward, choose yourself. Protect your mind. Learn from every failure. Keep becoming the person your future needs, and never forget who you are or what you deserve. The life you dream about is not waiting for luck. It is waiting for the version of you that refuses to give up. If this message spoke to your heart, don't let it end here. Write one promise to yourself in the comments, because today is the day you stop doubting your worth and start believing in your future. And if you want more life-changing lessons inspired by RM's wisdom, subscribe to RM Inspired Life and become part of a journey where every video helps you grow stronger, wiser, and more confident. Until next time, take care of yourself, believe in your journey, and remember, the most important person who will ever choose you is you.